Welcome to the Unpacking It podcast with Bryce Johnson. It's a show that unpacks sports, faith, and life with intriguing guests from the sports and entertainment world. Enjoy inspiring conversations and thought-provoking interviews. You'll hear stories from people that will inspire, challenge, and encourage you. Now, from the Unpacking It studios in Charlotte, North Carolina, uniting sports fans everywhere, here is Bryce Johnson.
Welcome to the Unpacking It podcast, Charlotte edition. I'm Bryce Johnson. It's the show that unpacks sports, faith, and life. And today, I am joined in studio by a friend, a supporter of Unpacking It, and he is the color analyst for Charlotte 49ers men's basketball. He's also the broadcaster for the Kannapolis Cannon Ballers, and he's a UNC Charlotte graduate. And so we've got so much to get into with Trevor Wilt. And before we bring on Trevor, let me ask you this. Do you need health insurance? We'll get quotes for individual health insurance plans at healthmarketgenius.com. That's healthmarketgenius.com. Know your options. Coming up toward the end of the show, we'll do Unpack This. And I've got some thoughts about the Daytona 500 and hopefully some encouragement for us as we wrap up the show. But right now, let's jump in to our conversation with Trevor Wilt here in studio. Trevor, thanks for driving down from Kannapolis to be a part of the show today. How are you?
I'm doing phenomenal. Thanks for having me on, Bryce. It wasn't that bad of a drive for me. It's always good to get out of the office as well and to get over and talk some faith and sports with you.
Man, well, we're fired up to have you. And so when I first met you, you were still in college at Charlotte. And now, just a couple years later, after graduation, you've already moved into the color analyst seat. And so you're calling games on the radio. And so I want to hear about your broadcasting career in a moment. But let's talk 49er basketball first. And as a Charlottean myself, the 49ers have mattered at times during my time here growing up. And it seems like they've turned the corner with Ron Sanchez. So tell me about this season and how much fun it's been just kind of being a part of things and seeing them kind of move up the standings.
Yeah, so it's a new age of Charlotte 49er basketball. And I think probably in the early 2000s, it was a bad boy type approach. They had Bobby Lutz as the head coach, and they really just went out there like, you know what, we're gonna punch you in the face, and we're going to hit a three in your face, and then we're going to tell you about it, and then we're going to beat you on top of that.
Yeah.
And so nowadays, it's kind of a new age where back in the early 2000s, they were high flyer, high scoring. They were scoring 70, 80 points a game, and they were showing you about it. Now it's, hey, we're going to get some stops. We're going to hit our gaps. We're going to take charges, and then we're going to beat you 50-45, and we don't care if you like it or not. But that's just how it's going to be, and it's good to it's a lot of people like to say, well, the basketball isn't sexy. Well, Coach Sanchez always goes, it's always sexy to win, though. It's nice to win, and that's what people are starting to get when they come to Dale F. Holton Arena on Thursday and Saturday nights, and it's really cool just seeing the new age basketball. It's a defensive approach. Of course, Ron Sanchez, he's a disciple, as they like to say, of Tony Bennett.
Oh yeah,
and so he's
love Tony.
Yeah, he's brought it here to Charlotte, North Carolina, and taking this team to new heights already. They've got 12 wins, which ties the most. 12 home wins, which ties the most in a regular season in Charlotte 49er history. 12-1 at home, and they have 2 more home games to go.
Huge. So 8-6 in the conference, 14-11 overall, 12-1 at home, but 2-10 on the road.
Oh, no.
What's up with that?
Oh, dude.
What's the story?
I don't even know the answer.
Man.
It's like, and the coaches, they sometimes don't even know the answers, and the players, they don't even know the answers. On the road, it's whenever they get on the road, they just turn into a completely different team, and it's tough because we see them at home. I'm 12-1 at home. They've taken down some of the top teams at home. We beat Davidson and Wake Forest back-to-back games.
That's significant.
Yeah, at the beginning of the season, and we looked a lot better than them. We didn't just, they just squeaked out and went at home because it's at home. We looked better than almost every single team at home. And so just on the road, I honestly, I wish I had the answer for you. The coaches, they're going, what do you guys not see on the road? What changes? And there's no defensive intensity. They don't move as a cohesive unit a lot of the times, but then they'll have stretches. We'll come out and they'll punch Western Kentucky right in the mouth, who's currently number 2 or number 1 right now in Conference USA. We were up on them. We're beating them at halftime. We look like the better team. In the second half, the road woes hit, and it's happened a couple of times. Against North Texas, we were just beating them the other day, and they're number 1 in the conference currently, I believe, right now. We were beating them. We were up by like 7 or 8 points. Came back, and they ended up beating us by 10 or 11. They were up by 15 basically the entire second half. It's just a young team, but it is very wild to watch.
It's something special about Halton Arena, though. I went there as a kid, man. I kind of remember. I feel like I was maybe, under 10 years old, and I somehow I ended up down on the floor, and there were cheerleaders, and I was a part of all that. Like my basketball team went as like a 9-year-old or something. I have a vague memory of it. So, but Halton Arena was a cool place then, and so to try to get some of that energy back is huge. And I'm curious from your perspective as you went there, you graduated there as a diehard fan and student, a part of it, to now just 3 years later, all of a sudden you've got a job with the school and you're an analyst and you're, looking at the team from an objective standpoint, but you still say we. It's still your school. This is your team. What has that dynamic been like and that transition like for you?
It's tough to not say we, and I always pride myself on not saying we. It slips out about once a broadcast. I
disagree. You can say we. You're on the You're a part of the team.
I know.
You're part of the program.
I am. I get some of the clothes that they wear, the sweatsuit and stuff like that. So
you're in.
I am in. Once you get a sweatsuit, you feel like you're in. But so I try not to as much, and of course I do more of my prep for our guys and things of that nature. But it's just really cool. I really do bleed Niner green. I love this university, and again, if I could stay here forever, I really wish I could. And in a perfect world, I would. I love Charlotte. Just the city itself. I love the way that it's branching out to different counties as well, where everyone's starting to come in, and Halton Arena is starting to become a place where people want to go. And UNC Charlotte's campus is ridiculous now. It has changed so much. There's a new UREC Center. It is an inside pool that goes to an outdoor pool that has like 2 or 3 different levels of basketball courts. It's ridiculous, Bryce. So you definitely have to go check UREC Center. And apparently alum, they get in for free as well. So you have to do a couple things. You have to finagle your way through a couple different associations maybe where you have to call the Alumni Association. But apparently they can hook you up as well. So I'm currently working through that.
Nice.
With Andrew Baker, who's one of the top dogs in the Alumni Association. So I still got to talk to him through that. But it's just some great things happening. But, yeah, it's awesome. I love that. Went to Charlotte. And now I haven't. None of the guys, whenever I was there, are really still there. A lot of guys have transferred with the new coaching staff coming in, and it's been a good thing. Again, new age of college basketball in Halton Arena.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. Love hearing you on the radio, and I especially listened the other day when you were up in Boone playing App State. So playing my alma mater. So
that was the worst game ever. Right there. I got a text from you as soon as that game. You're like, hey, I was listening. Like, of course you were listening.
Yeah, of course. That's right. Go Mountaineers. So actually, our basketball and I say we basketball program needs some help, but new coach. So we'll see how it goes. But when I was up at App, the basketball program was awesome with Houston Fancher. Then he ended up being at UNC Charlotte. So funny how that all worked out. All right, so let's talk. So you do basketball, but you're also involved with minor league baseball, and that's kind of your day job. You're the director of kind of operations. You do ticket sales. You wear a lot of different hats with the Kannapolis Cannon Ballers.
Oh, yeah.
And so we knew them as the Kannapolis Intimidators. Now there's a name change, new stadium. Fill us in for those of us that may not be familiar with what's been going on.
So Kannapolis is rocking. That's what I can tell you. Kannapolis is absolutely rocking. And you know how all right, so Charlotte, uptown, it got really big. So people are like, you know what? Let's probably move to Concord area because Concord is going to be the outskirts where you can still live in Concord, but working uptown, go have fun uptown, right?
Yep.
And so now that's turning into Kannapolis for Concord and Charlotte. People are able to make that commute from Charlotte. Heck, I passed Charlotte on my way. It just took me about 40 minutes to get here with you. So it wasn't even that bad of a drive, and it's really cool. There's so many things happening in Concord and in the outskirts of Uptown, where Kannapolis is starting to become that place. And it's a big-time project, right around like $300 million, the revitalization of downtown Kannapolis. And still have the old gym theater there that's been around since I can't even remember. And it's really cool. It's got the old-time feel, hot dogs. You can basically get like a hot dog, Skittles, and a drink for like $6, $7 in total.
With the Skittles.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it's big time. And it's like $3 to $5.
Tell Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, exactly. It's like $3 to $5 for a ticket too. So that's really cool stuff happening there. There's a few other really cool things happening downtown Kannapolis. So Kannapolis Cannon Ballers, it was good to get away. It was almost just at the norm that the Kannapolis Intimidators, they weren't going to have good attendance at the games. There wasn't going to be big-time people coming to the games, and you're not going to get someone from The Office. You're not going to get a Michael Scott or whoever you want to say, and Andy Bernard coming there. But now that we have such a really nice venue, we have about a $50 million ballpark now, it's going to turn into, you know what, this is going to be a destination spot whenever people, minor league baseball fans, minor league lifers, are going to go, you know what, instead of going to Asheville, instead of coming to Charlotte, instead of going to Hickory Crawdads, downtown Kannapolis, they got condos there. They have apartments. They have hotels. We're building those things around the downtown Kannapolis area, and the Kannapolis Cannon Ballers are in the middle of it all. We're the focal point of it, and we're excited for it. And our slogan is "Have a blast." That's our
Cannon
slogan.
Ballers.
Yeah, exactly. Have a blast. So it's cool. And then our mascot is Boomer. So you're booming out. It's a Daredevil type look, Evel Knievel type look. Got a nice mustache. Got the helmet and all the goggles and all that hoopla. So it's been a lot of fun. And we truly want to be just a family friendly environment. And that's what and that's, I think, our trajectory is just going to be It's just going to surpass anything that we could have ever dreamed of, for sure.
Man, so you can listen to Trevor, call in the games, home games on the radio, and so he's the play-by-play voice of the Kannapolis Cannon Ballers. And so why the name change?
So moving into a new stadium, is one thing where you're like, you know what, fresh start. We're getting a fresh ballpark, might as well have a fresh start. We had new ownership as well that came in. So they came in at the 11th hour, and they're incredible. Out of Washington, D.C., Temerity Baseball, Andy Sandler, Mike, his son, Alicia Amling, they've been just phenomenal with Temerity Baseball. So now they're with us, and it just was just the right time. Kannapolis Intimidators, it was just outdated. Nothing was really ever added on to it. We didn't technically own the name Intimidators, and just with that being part of the Earnhardt family, and we still love the Earnhardt family. We still have deep connections with them, and we still want to honor him in a lot of ways, just because it's really cool, the fact that we were named after the greatest, if not one of the greatest, if not the greatest NASCAR driver of all time. That's something really cool, and we pride ourselves on. We just thought it was time to move on, though, and create our own identity. And I think that's what we've done. I think we've created our own identity, and it has been a whirlwind. But we had a lot of naysayers, a lot of doubters, but now a lot of those people are starting to come back on and jump on the wheel on the train and saying, you know what? This is cool. This is going to be fun. We're going to have a blast.
There you go.
In Kannapolis.
I like it. Well, you brought a gift bag for me, so we'll put some of this stuff up in the studio. We got a pennant and a ball, and so we're all in here on the Kannapolis Cannon Ballers. So a single A affiliate of the White Sox, and so fun having the voice with us here on Unpacking It. And so baseball right now, you know, everybody's talking about it getting going and spring training and all that sort of thing in Major League Baseball, and of course all the minor leagues, you know, they'll fill out their rosters based on what goes on in spring training and all that. But unfortunately, the conversation that has superseded what's actually going to happen on the field this year is all about the Astros, and it's all about the sign stealing scandal, and so many opinions, so many comments, so many people upset and angered and confused, and from the commissioner all the way down. So just as someone in the baseball world, what has the discussion been like just even at the ballpark or just in the offices, and your perspective on the whole thing.
Yeah, so in minor league baseball, of course, it's more towards the entertainment side more than towards the guys who are actually out on the diamond. But in my job and the broadcasters that I talk to every single day, it's still a discussion that we like to have. So it has been crazy. I'm just thinking about everything that came out, and then what we had. Jack McDowell, he came out and had some statements as well, and he whistle blew. Of course, he's the head baseball coach for Queens University, saying that whenever he won the Cy Young, back whenever he was pitching back in the days, in the late 80s, or in the 70s and 80s, that they were doing sign stealing like that as well. And it's crazy to think that whenever a lot of people are like, everyone's cheating. Well, people are doctoring some things that they're doing, and they maybe are getting some competitive advantages, but to be that blatant, it is. I think it was just disgraceful to the game, because you think of baseball, it's just a beautiful, such an organic game, and you feel like there shouldn't be anything wrong with it. You sit down, you watch a game of baseball, you're drinking whatever you want to drink, you're eating a hot dog, you're like, man, this is just relaxing. And then it's just old-fashioned, just not
Peanuts,
too much about it.
Cracker Jacks.
Come on now. It's perfect. And then you hear about all this video that's going into it, and then all this technology, and that people are cheating using video cameras, live streaming, and it's really tough. And whenever I heard it, I'm a Atlanta Braves fan deep down. My father's from Atlanta and Tampa, Florida as well. Kind of dabble between both of them, and so he raised me a Florida State, of course, fan, and now I'm a Bleed Niner Green, and then Atlanta Braves fan, and now, of course, cheer for the Chicago White Sox as well. But whenever I listened to Freddie Freeman, he came to tears whenever he heard about this Astros scandal, because one of his best friends, he played against the Astros in 2018, 2019, whatever it was, and he gave up 4 runs in 1 inning, gave up 4 hits and 2 home runs, and then got cut and hasn't played a game in the majors since. And I don't think he's actually playing even in minor league baseball. So that ruined his career, and it affected his kids, his family, his parents, his everything. And think about that. I mean, and then none of these guys are going to get in trouble for it. None of these players, apparently. I know the owner or the GM and their coach and their skipper did as well, and their manager, but I don't think it's enough, and I don't think everyone else is doing this. I think that you could rub up a little something on a baseball. You could have a little something on your mitt, but, I mean, this is truly disgraceful to the game of baseball, and it was tough to see. And then you hear Mike Trout talking about it, the greatest baseball player likely in the world, and he's like, you know what? Heck, I could hit 80 bombs and bat 500
I'd love to know.
If you tell me. And
love to know what pitch is coming.
I know, exactly. So it's been tough. It's been tough to watch it all unfold.
You know, where it stands today, what makes it interesting to me is the fact that now players around the league are coming out against the players on the Astros, and there's almost a bond as baseball players. Like, they're all in it together. They all know the journey that it takes to get to the big leagues and through minor leagues and double A, triple A, single A, all that they have to go through. And to then see that some of your brothers are this intentional with cheating, and so many people were involved with it on one team, and that team won the World Series, it creates such a tension. And I feel like the other players feel like they have to do something to make this right. Like, the Dodgers or whatever, Braves players, they feel like they have to do something to make it right. But the reality is there's nothing they can do. Like, beaming them and all that kind of thing isn't the answer. Like, that kind of retaliation, maybe it makes you feel better for a moment, but what does it really solve? That doesn't solve anything. So I think there's a frustration from the players that they really can't do anything. And they're looking to the commissioner, and they want him to do something, and come on, drop the hammer. But what's going to really make everybody feel better? Like, it's happened, it's over. They've already celebrated the World Series. Part of me says, well, take it away. They shouldn't be able to walk around claiming that they are the World Series champs from 2017, but it's a little too late for all that. So how does baseball move forward? How does forgiveness start? How does that start taking place? How do the Astros players throughout the season handle this? Will be fascinating to see. I mean, they're going to get booed every stadium they're in, a lot. Fans are going to go nuts. You think about the handshakes after a game or before the game with other players. Are they going to be doing that with Astros players?
Probably not.
So anyway, those are my rambling thoughts on it all, but it's been a crazy thing.
It's all the truth. No, I think everything that you just said is perfect because there's no exact answer. There's no exact answer, and there's so many questions, and that's the toughest thing. And it's going to be this next season. Anytime the Astros, like you said, step into a ballpark, they're going to get booed. It doesn't matter who you are: Carlos Correa, Jose Altuve, Justin Verlander. It doesn't matter if you were traded and you're on a different team.
Yeah.
You're going to get booed now.
Yeah.
There's going to be people banging on trash cans. I guarantee. It's going to be crazy. Apparently, someone did it at the Houston Astros BP down the spring training facility yesterday. A fan was beating on a trash can. They kicked him out. So,
man,
I feel like that's going to happen more times than not.
It's nuts. I mean, yeah, somebody's coming out every day saying something, adding to the story, and as much as baseball wants it to be buried, it seems like it's just going to pick up momentum. I think, at least for a while.
Yeah, I really think it will, and yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough couple years. And think about all those guys who got extensions after those big seasons, and George
those are
Springer,
guaranteed money.
George Springer was not good. He was batting. I forgot what he was like the year before 2017. I want to say it was like 230, something like that. He was hitting a lot of home runs. He was stealing some bases. The guy's an absolute athlete. And then now he's in the MVP conversation, batting 280, 290, 300, whatever it was. I don't know the exact stats. And then now these guys are getting extensions. And not even George Springer. There's other guys getting extensions and moving on to different teams and getting big paydays. And a lot of players going, man, if I would have known, I would have been able to do that because now I know there's really no punishment for me.
True.
I can just I can do that. I can cheat. And apparently there's no punishment. Now Pete Rose is jumping out saying, reinstate me. He's still up at Cooperstown selling his book and selling autographs. So
it's opened up a lot of things. It really has. I guess I hadn't really thought about that as far as now does it give them the green light to cheat as players. That's interesting.
Knowing that you're not going to get in trouble.
I know, but it's almost like the next people to do it, they're going to get the punishment for them and for the Astros. That's the problem.
Yeah.
All right, so we love talking sports here at Unpacking It, and of course you're part of the Unpacking It family, and so you're a sports fan following Jesus as well, and so we'd love to hear just a little bit about your journey and maybe some of the the key moments of your life or turning points in your life.
Let's jump into it, but before I get to it, I just want to say that I guess part of that journey is just being faithful in finances and stuff like that, and I'll get to that and how. Just able to, I feel like just giving to Unpacking It Ministries has just been such a big blessing. But I mean, I go back to my middle school days whenever there was things going around in the house for me when it came to any type of addictions. And when I was thinking to myself, you know what? I feel like I have a cookie cutter life. I mean, I live in a nice 2-story house. I have 2 incredible parents. I have 4 incredible human beings that surround myself and my siblings, older sister, a younger sister, and 2 younger brothers as well. And we go to church every single Sunday, and things are nice. I'm playing sports. I'm on travel baseball teams. I'm in student council. Things are good. But then I go home at night, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Like, I still feel kind of empty. Like, I feel like with things going on around the house, like, I can still see myself, like, crying to bed at night. I'm like, man, like, what am I doing? Like, and what's going on, and why am I doing this stuff? And life isn't always easy. And they're going to throw curveballs at you. They're not. And everyone thought me and my family, we were like the great American family. Had friends over every day throughout the summer. We were the hangout spot, and not knowing just how tough it was still inside of our house whenever everyone left. And there were some tough things going on, and I found myself crying myself to sleep a lot at night. And then heck, even going to my older sister's room, and she come into my room and be like, hey, like let's be together tonight just because I know what's going on. And it was tough. So whenever you're by yourself a lot of times, although with a big family, there's going to be times where you're by yourself and you're like, you know what, I need to talk to somebody. And you don't want to talk to your best friend whenever you're 13, 14 years old and you find out what stuff that's happening and stuff that's going on in your life and you don't feel like you can really open up. So why not open up to a man that's not going to judge you, who's going to be there just to listen to your prayers, and it's cool. So whenever I was right around middle school, I feel like I really made that leap of getting to praying every morning, praying every single night, and thinking to myself, you know what, there's something better than me that's going on, and that I know my life, it may seem awesome to a lot of people. It may seem like we're living like the American dream as a family, but deep down, like, you still have so much emptiness in you. And no matter how much you feel full, you still feel like you can't get enough from money. You can't get enough from just having friends and stuff, that you really need to be full on the inside. And then that's where I gave my life to Christ. I remember actually back at the Refuge, and there was a couple times got baptized as well down in Florida. I ended up getting baptized there by Joe Markowitz. That was an incredible experience with my family as well. But in middle school, that's kind of where I really kind of hit the ground running, saying, all right, there's a bigger purpose to me. There's more than just going to church on Sundays and sleeping through half of it. And I need to be able to get into what's going on. So I've surrounded myself with a lot of great people. My parents, of course, my siblings, yourself, and then my neighbor Stockton Perry. He owns that Chick-fil-A over there near the Carolina Mall as well. So he's been able to really dive in with me, and it's really cool. And I feel like every single time I find a mentor, it's not someone who's just wanted to just bury me with Scripture. And I think that's the coolest thing about unpacking as well. It's that, and there's a lot of things in life. There's Inky Johnson. I don't know, you ever heard of Inky Johnson from Tennessee? He's got some incredible quotes when it comes to just the Lord, and how in some life, some people don't need you to preach a sermon to you. They need you to live it. Yeah. So whenever you see you living it, they can connect and identify with it. And I think that's great. And I love doing that. And I think you do that incredibly well. I think my neighbor does it well. I think my parents are doing it well. I think I've surrounded myself with a lot of people who are doing it well. And just because, to me, whenever people just came at me with Scripture, I was just like, all right, like, calm down a little bit. Like, this is a little too much. But whenever you start to put sports involved into it, whenever you start to put my life into it, and then you like give me like a Scripture there, and you're like, all right, this is how it connects to you. That's how I needed to be impacted. And I think I got that through yourself and reading your daily devotionals, which are incredible. I have my friends doing it now because it's sports. We're like, hey, you know what? He just talked about what just happened, the big crash that just happened. But so there's just so many great things that have come since that middle school and high school time. But again, life's never easy, and life's always going to throw you curveballs. But again, like even giving up even helping out with finances for myself, and thinking to myself, you know what? That's always the toughest sermon to go to. Whenever you go in, you're like, oh, Lord, he's going to tell me to give $500 a year now to this guy, or $500 a year to the church. Of course I'm going to do it. Or I don't need to do it. I don't know, whatever you want to say. And then I finally sat down one day. I was like, you know what? I feel like this would be a good time. And I wasn't even in a good spot with finances. I was just like, you know what? I've never given. I've never truly given. I've only given like, hey, there's the bowls, the nice gold bowls going by. I'm gonna throw $5 in it. I'm gonna throw $1 and maybe a McDonald's coupon. I've never done that. Sorry, I've never done that. But things like that where I'm like, you know what? It's gonna be cool. I need to trust the Lord in my finances, and He's gonna be fruitful to me, and it's cool. So actually, after I did that, after I started giving to unpacking it, that's when I'm not even. That's whenever the Charlotte 49er job kind of opened up as well, and then. End up getting some more calls with that, and end up getting some ESPN 3 gigs and ESPN Plus gigs and little things like that. And again, I was not good at my finances. I was still struggling. I was Ubering.
Just out of college.
Yeah, just out of college. I was Ubering and lifting and working minor league baseball, trying to work as well with ESPN Plus. I mean, I wasn't there. I was still working a little bit with Chick-fil-A, but I was like, you know what? I got to find a way. I can do it, even if it's a small amount, because I still want to give more and to so many people. But I just can't do it just yet. But I feel like I can't do it. But I tell myself that, and there's always a way. There's always a way with Him. So there's I feel like we could talk for hours about it. But it's of course it's something that has led me to be who I am today. Just kind of staying faithful in it, praying through everything, and I continue to pray every single day. Prayer is such a powerful thing, and I think that and praise and worship music is so powerful to me. That gets me every single morning. Put on a little ESPN 7:30. I'll listen to the radio, a little sports talk, and then about 10 to 15 minutes right before I get to work, I go, you know what? I need 3 or 4 good songs to kind of get me in that motion. So I'm not going into work and holding off saying a cuss word to someone. I'm not holding off saying this and thinking these thoughts. I'm going in going, you know what? I feel
filled
good.
With worship.
I feel good, and I'm going to go and impact other people, positively impact other people, and that's my goal every day.
Man, no, awesome story, and it's always fun having radio guys on the show because then you just say go. Just say go.
Exactly. Look, yeah, exactly. That's why I can do the same thing with you as well. I'll be on the broadcast one day.
There you go. That's right. That's right. But no, I appreciate you sharing that and having just seen some of your journey and watching you. It's been fun to see, and thankful that these opportunities have opened up for you in your broadcasting career, because you were trying to figure things out when I first met you in college, and to see God's hand on you and opening up doors, and to see, it's encouraging to me as someone who's in ministry, who's dependent on people donating to the ministry, to see a young guy like you do that. I mean, it's just extremely motivating, inspiring, and I appreciate you sharing it, because giving. So for me, for the ministry, we receive. It keeps us going. But the life of giving is so crucial. So my wife and I, we love to give. We support other ministries. And when your hands are open with your finances and we're not holding on and gripping everything, it's such a freeing feeling. So I'm in the middle of it. I'm watching people, give to the ministry, and I'm seeing the excitement, the joy, God work in their life when they're giving. And I experience it in my own life kind of on the other side, that we give, and you just continue to pass it on type of thing. And so we don't always like to talk about it. We get funny about it if the pastor's speaking about it at church. But when we really get it and understand what Scripture says about giving, and it is a hard issue, and when you find the joy in it, and you end up not being so, just gripped by money. It's awesome. So
it's great. And whenever I read the daily devotionals, and again, I don't get to them. I'm not able to get to them every single day. There's some days when it's crazy, or some days when it's not. But it's cool whenever I get to read yours and go, you know what? Today is going to be fun. I get to read this, and it's an interesting day. And heck, we even had a little start. We just started a Bible study at the new house I'm living in now, and we'll read your daily devotionals as well. Whenever we just have the guys in. Sometimes whenever the girls come by, they're like, we don't want to talk about sports, but that's what me and my roommates do. We'll be like, hey, a good way to start. Let's go. Let's see what Bryce has got for us today. And then we'll kind of run into it. So you're impacting a lot of people's lives, even if they're not subscribing, although I need to get some of them to subscribe to you. And I guess now I'm thinking about it.
That's right. Get it to the inbox.
But it's really cool. It's nice to get that every single day. You know what you're going to get whenever you're with Unpacking It, Bryce Johnson. And it's really cool. It's really cool what you're doing around Charlotte. But heck, you're everywhere. You're everywhere.
Man, no, we're thankful, and we just finished up 6 years of the ministry, and so God's moving, and it's fun having people on the team. So thankful to have you on the team, a part of what we're doing, and glad to have you in studio and a part of the show. And so, man, we'll be listening to you. Charlotte 49ers basketball, Kannapolis baseball. So, man, keep up the great work, and I got to get out to a game too. I do need to get up there. Especially at the new stadium.
Yeah, I got a couple more games to go for basketball, of course, and then we'll have too many games for minor league baseball. We have 70 home games, so there's
that's a lot.
You have a few days that you can pick out, so it's nuts. But yeah, thanks for having me on. Incredible place you have here, and I'm excited. I'm excited to be along with the journey with you.
Man, it's awesome. He's Trevor Wilt, and really appreciate him coming in studio, and appreciate what he said about the ministry. Meant a lot, very heartfelt, and it's encouraging to me, and hopefully to you as a listener, that you're a part of something special, even as a listener. And if you want to take a step to be even more involved, we'd love for you to do that as well, whether that's financially or as a prayer partner or as someone that is volunteering at events that we do in Charlotte. A lot of different ways to even take another step to get plugged in with Unpacking It. Maybe it's starting a pack. You can find out all that kind of information on our website, unpackingit.com. I always love wrapping up the podcast with our segment, Unpack This. Quick thought about sports, faith, and life. And you can subscribe to receive the email version in your inbox. Just go to unpackingit.com. But, man, earlier this week, we saw a crazy finish at the Daytona 500. Wow. It was it was so cool to see Denny Hamlin get the win and the way that he won, but at the same time, we saw a crazy crash, and thankfully, we saw Ryan Newman a couple days later walk out of the hospital with his daughters, and it was, just awesome to see. The fact that quickly he was able to heal from what looked like a major, and it didn't look like it. It was a major wreck, and he was in bad shape. It was a scary scene, and so what I want to talk about today is what that scene was really like in regards to. It was really exciting at the very end. Joe Gibbs Racing, their whole team, they're celebrating. They just won the Daytona 500, back-to-back wins for Denny Hamlin. So think about the joy, the celebration, the excitement, the exuberance, all that is going on. And then at the same time, wait, is Ryan Newman okay? Like, what's going on? Is he going to get out of the car? What kind of shape is he in? What's going to happen now? And all of a sudden, the whole feeling around that race turned very somber. And there was a sense of anguish and worry, and it was very tense. And I think about from a broadcasting standpoint, those guys calling the end of that race, that's a weird spot to be in because you want to have the excitement for the finish, but you're thinking, what did we just see with Ryan Newman? That wasn't just a little tiny crash. That was major. So all this is going on really at once. And so afterward, some of the comments from Joe Gibbs and then Denny Hamlin kind of set the stage for what was really going on. And so Hamlin explained, quote, "I knew crossing the track there, it was a bad scenario in the first place. It's a weird balance of excitement and happiness for yourself, but obviously someone's health and their family is bigger than any win in any sport. We're just hoping for the best." And of course, that was before he knew, what was really going on. And then, of course, people were questioning and criticizing the team for celebrating while Newman was, being taken care of by the medical staff. And so owner Joe Gibbs had to respond and apologize by saying, quote, "I say to everybody out there, some people may have seen us and said, those guys are celebrating when there's a serious issue going on. So I apologize to everybody, but we really didn't know." So he said those guys are celebrating when there's a serious issue going on. So that was the dynamic. And of course, it's a difficult situation for everyone involved and really just hard to navigate. But what it made me think about is how in life, there are times where we're simultaneously filled with joy and sadness. And a lot of times it's based on our own circumstances, but then sometimes it has to deal with maybe we're dealing with something really exciting while someone close to us is going through pain. Or we're going through the pain while someone else is celebrating. We're dealing with the miscarriage. Someone else is dealing with the excitement of giving birth. We're dealing with the job promotion, the excitement of that. Someone else is dealing with a death in the family or vice versa. And so what ends up happening, though, is we feel like we have to pick sides. We have to pick one emotion or the other. And I guess my encouragement to us today is the reality that both of those emotions can be taking place at the same time. Because I think it's okay for Denny Hamlin and Joe Gibbs to be excited in that moment while also being worried, concerned, and a sense of sorrow and anguish, wondering what's going on with Ryan Newman. Like, to me, both of those things are going on. It's natural, it's real, it's raw, it's happening. And for us, it's really hard to, want to be excited about something when someone else is in pain, but why would we want to hold back that joy and excitement? That's a blessing in our life. And so, because eventually we're going to be on the other side of it. And so, anyway, to look at this from a spiritual standpoint, as followers of Jesus, every day we should be filled with joy, worship, celebration, gratitude, because we've been saved and we're going to spend eternity with God. So we should always be filled with that level of joy. But guess what? This life is filled with situations that cause pain and suffering that lead to concern and heartache. Plus, when we realize that so many people don't know God, we should be overtaken by deep sorrow and concern because souls are on the line. So again, all of this is taking place at the same time. And if we only live life as, oh, everything's a celebration, everything's great, and then we're in denial of the pain that people are feeling, or we almost just overlook the pain, yeah, that's not the answer. Or if we walk around and we're always sorrowful and we're always just kind of, yeah, life's really hard and there's always pain, and think about all the people that are suffering right now, and we're miserable all the time without thinking about, yeah, but we have hope, we have joy, because Jesus is real, Jesus is alive, and he's a healer, and he's a provider, and so we cling to that. And so Paul writes in 2 Corinthians about his hardships and everything that he's going through as a minister of the gospel. And in verse 10 it says, our hearts ache, but we always have joy. And so despite Paul's struggles, he continues the work of the Lord with an attitude of joy. He's not denying the pain, but is saying he has joy too. So I love the words, a couple of other versions of that same verse. In the NIV, it says, sorrowful, yet always rejoicing. And then another version says, although saddened, we are always glad. So the encouragement today is, let's keep rejoicing because of Jesus, but at the same time, let's not deny the sorrow and pain that are also very real. And understanding that, yes, we're going to have seasons, we're going to have moments where both are going on at the same time in our own life or in the people around us. And it is hard to navigate. But let's lean in and not deny either emotion, either feeling, but ultimately trust the Lord and always rejoice in him. So I hope that's encouraging to you. It's kind of it's a tricky thing to think about, but I was encouraged. I was sitting at lunch with my mentor maybe last week, and we were talking about that verse, sorrowful yet always rejoicing. And so was glad to write about it and share some of those thoughts with you today. I'm Bryce Johnson. Thanks so much for listening to the Unpacking It podcast today. Thanks to my guest, Trevor Wilt. Until next time, I'm a sports fan who follows Jesus. I believe in the good news that he died on the cross for my sins. He was resurrected, and through faith, I have been saved by his grace. I hope that is true for you as well, and I hope you'll join me as we live life as sports fans who follow Jesus together. Have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll talk to you next time right here on the Unpacking It podcast.
For more information about the show, our events, and other resources, visit unpackinit.com. That's UNPACKINIT.com. We hope you are encouraged, inspired, and challenged by what you heard today. To support our show and Unpacking It Ministries with a financial gift, visit unpackinit.com/donate. We look forward to unpacking sports, faith, and life with you again next week.